So something I see so often is people opening up credit cards, but not actually using them to get positive value. Because despite many people thinking credit cards are just a form of paying for things, they can actually help you to do so much more when used properly. So in this video, we are going to cover some of the biggest credit card mistakes that indicate that you are leaving money on the table. And you will want to stick around for the end because even if you think you know how to use credit cards, there's a couple of tricks in here that I think you'll find helpful. Let's start with the first mistake, which is not getting the right card, or rather, getting the wrong card for your spending habits. Now, I namely see this mistake happen in one of two ways. One, people just default to opening a credit card with their bank that doesn't have any good multipliers or perks because it's the convenient option and never progress onto better cards. The thing is, a lot of the times, these cards that are highlighted by the banks may just offer really basic features like 1% cash back, which it's good to be earning rewards, but if you did some more research, you would find that there are cards out there that offer 2% cash back, which is double the return. But it doesn't stop there. Let's say one of your biggest spend categories is food. There's cards out there that offer 3x or 4x back on dining and groceries like the Capital One Saver or Amex Gold Card. So by shopping around and seeing what options are out there from all the different issuers can allow you to unlock a card that provides a lot more value than some basic card that the person at the bank kind of deceived you into believing was good for you. Now, the second way this comes to fruition is when you open up a premium credit card that doesn't actually provide you value in excess of the annual fee you are paying. And this has been more prevalent as cards like the Amex Platinum and the Chase Sapphire Reserve have increased their annual fees north of $750 while also adding a mix of various credits that may or may not work for you. Taking the Amex Platinum, for example, they advertise that you can get over $3,500 in credits, but when you look into the details, those credits don't tend to match the spending of the everyday person. For example, one of the credits is a $75 quarterly Lululemon credit. Are you really going shopping at Lululemon once a quarter? I'm guessing not. Or they have a $600 hotel credit. That sounds great, but then you realize that it can only be used on their fine hotels and resorts or hotel collections, and requires a 2-night minimum stay. Would you really find yourself booking these types of properties that often? Maybe, and if you do, then maybe this card starts to make more sense for you. But I think a lot of people who open this card or other premium travel cards don't do the analysis to see what matches their spending habits, and they end up paying a high annual fee that they aren't offsetting with the points and perks the cards offer. And this leads me to the second big credit card mistake, and that is overspending to hit welcome offers. See, I think people get excited by the prospect of earning big welcome offers like 60,000, 75,000, or 100,000 points. And I wouldn't blame you if you did. But usually those offers come with much higher minimum spend requirements like $4, $6, or $10,000 in 3 months. And for some people, these minimum spend requirements are too high to hit with their regular spending. So they end up making the decision to buy things they otherwise wouldn't just to get the points. But this defeats the whole purpose of earning the points in the first place, because even with a really good bonus, you're getting maybe a 35% return on spend. But if you're spending lots of extra money just to get those bonus points, you're coming out behind. So my advice to you would be to time big sign-up bonuses like this when you know you have some big upcoming expenses, like maybe a trip or buying new furniture, or whatever it was that you were already going to buy in the first place. Because there is no reason to be spending excess money just to get points. And spending your money poorly leads me to the next credit card mistake, and this is not using your credit card like a debit card. What I mean by this is that you should only be putting purchases on your credit card if you have the money in your bank account to pay it off in full. Many people make the mistake of just throwing purchases on their cards, not knowing how much they are charging and getting their credit card statement at the end of the month, and realizing they don't have enough money to pay the bill. And the bad part is when you can't pay off your full credit card bill, the unpaid portion starts to accrue interest, and credit card interest is ridiculous, with an average being over 20% APR. And if you are hit with this, you are the target user of these credit cards, as these issuers are counting on the interest paid by people who don't pay their full balance off to offset the rewards offered to those who are using their cards correctly. So please, if you took just anything from this video, just pay your credit card off in full every month. Like I said at the beginning of the video, a lot of people leave money on the table when using their credit cards by not knowing how to get the most value out of them. The main way I see this is when people accumulate tons of points and end up just redeeming them for travel through the credit card's travel portal. Now, this is fine because you are getting free travel still, but a lot of the travel credit cards that are out there offer transferable points currencies like Chase Ultimate Rewards, Amex Membership Rewards, or Capital One Miles. And they actually give you the ability to transfer those points out to airline and hotel travel partners. And this is where you see people out there redeeming credit card points for free business/first class flights or 5-star hotels. See, when you book through the travel portal, you're typically getting around 1 to 1.5 cents per point in value, but when you transfer to the right partner at the right time, you can squeeze 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 10 cents per point out of those same exact points. For example, transferring Chase points to Hyatt for a high-end hotel stay, or moving Amex points over to Flying Blue during one of their promo transfer periods can unlock business or first class flights that would otherwise cost thousands and thousands of dollars. So if you're just sitting on a pile of points and booking everything through the portal, you're essentially leaving half, if not more, of the value on the table. It does take a little more research to find those sweet spots, but once you start finding them, I think it will change the way you view your credit card points. And on top of this, when it comes to maximizing value from your credit cards, the next mistake I see is not stacking your credit card rewards with shopping portals. And this one is honestly one of the most slept on strategies out there, I think. So most people know they are earning points when they swipe their card, but what a lot of people don't realize is that you can actually earn additional cashback or points on top of that just by clicking through a shopping portal before you make a purchase. There's two main ones I'll cover in this video, but there's tons of other options out there, and the two portals I'm going to focus on are Rakuten and Rove. The first is Rakuten, which is probably the most well-known of the two, and the way it works is you either download their browser extension, which will automatically pop up when you're on an eligible retailer site, or you go to Rakuten's website directly and click through the store from there. And the cashback rates can be really, really solid, and we're talking anywhere from 1% at some stores all the way up to 10, 15, or even 20% at others. And they run promotions constantly where those rates get bumped up even higher. But here's the part that makes Rakuten extra powerful if you're an Amex card holder or want to earn built points. Instead of just taking your rewards as cash back, which is Rakuten's default, you can opt to have them paid out as Amex membership rewards points or built points. So instead of getting, say, $20 cash back, you might get 2,000 Amex points, which if you're transferring those out to airline or hotel partners like we just talked about, could actually be worth significantly more than the cash value of the cash back. The second portal I want to highlight is Rove, and this one's a little bit newer, but honestly, it's really exciting, especially if you're someone who has multiple credit card currencies. What makes Rove different is that it actually earns its own point currencies, Rove Miles, that can be transferred out to one of their transfer partners, which I'll pop up a list of them on the screen now. And what is so great about these is that a lot of these transfer partners overlap with the transfer partners of other transferable points currencies, such as Air France, which is a loyalty partner of most major credit card issuers. Meaning, you can stack these points with your credit card points to multiply your rewards. Rove is especially great for hotel bookings because you can book a hotel, get up to 25 points per dollar, and still get to keep your status, which is kind of unheard of. And see, the core concept here is the same for both portals. You're stacking rewards on top of rewards. Your credit card is earning its normal points or cash back, and the portal is layering just additional value on top of that same purchase. So let's say you're buying something at a retailer where Rakuten is offering 8x back, and you pay with a card earning 2x back on that category. You're now getting a 10x total return on that purchase without spending a single extra dollar. Over the course of the year, if you're making regular online purchases or hotel bookings, that adds up to a really meaningful amount of free travel or cash back that most people are just completely missing out on. I will drop links for both Rakuten and Rove down in the description below, and you can get a nice sign-up bonus for both for absolutely free. If you do end up signing up through those links, I genuinely appreciate it so much, and it goes a long way in supporting the channel and allowing me to keep putting out content like this for you guys. So thank you in advance if you do use it. But with that, I hope you found something in here of value, because these are things I wish I knew at the start of my credit card journey. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and check out this video over here that YouTube thinks you might like as well.